Thank fuck this show is finally over. Season 7 of Orange is the New Black. Okay, so I know you're thinking, Ray, if you hate this show so fucking much, why are you watching it? Well, I don't dislike the show. I dislike the main character, Piper. She's a terrible, terrible person and justifies everything wrong in her life with its other people just keeping me down. Well, let me show you the scene that proves I am right, proves what terrible, attention seeking piece of shit this person is in real life. Okay? This is the closing credits for the final episode of the show. It's not going to be spoilers, but it demonstrates the fuck out of my point. As you would expect with a show ending, we just see all of our favorite characters doing a little 2-second skit, standing around, and everybody's happy, right? They make a little joke. And then we get Piper. You notice how there's a live song playing in the background? Well, that's right, fuckers. They edited the final seconds of the show. So it sounds like the crowd at a live performance is cheering for her. That's who the fuck we're dealing with in this goddamn show. So, on to the final season. What are we dealing with? I actually wrote something resembling a script this time so I can remember everything. And yes, that's in the script. I actually did a script to remember everything. Last season, we gained a couple big bads in the cell block, but they were killed off, and immediately to start this season, their underlings are removed from the show. We had already lost half our cast in transfers to a prison in Ohio, so we're left with a smaller group of characters that we've known for most of the show. When we left the show at the end of season 6, as I said, most of the threats have been removed. Piper and Hot Girl have been released from prison, and we have a new impending doom of immigrant detention centers, as the company who owns the private prison got the government contract to build detention centers. I'm going to do my best to summarize what's going on and everybody's story the best I can with minimal spoilers about specific things, but let's be honest, there's going to be some spoilers because this video is probably going to be about 15 minutes long. The show came out a week ago, and why are you watching a review of a TV show if you don't want to know what happened? Use some common sense. Remember what common sense was? Beginning with our characters who are out of prison, Piper is living with her brother and his hippie wife, sometimes babysitting their kid after she gets fired from her job immediately because she wants extra days off to go visit Alex in prison and isn't given them. Baby daycare doesn't want a convicted felon around their children, so that doesn't work out immediately, and she ends up begging her dad for work, who he doesn't like her lifestyle of being a criminal. She's like, oh, you hate me because I'm a lesbian. He's like, no, I hate you because you date Alex, who's a terrible person and makes you do terrible things. But she doesn't realize that because she's Piper and everyone's out to get her. Alita, she is still fucking the guard from the last couple seasons, sneaking drugs into the prison. Her daughter is now running the drug trade in prison and has become a massive lesbian to Alita's shock. And Hot Girl is out partying when she gets picked up by ICE because she's a brown person, and ICE just indiscriminately arrests all brown people in this universe. We only have 2 guards on the show that aren't complete shitheads. the blonde woman and the black woman. So the black woman, as a diversity hire, admittedly by everybody, is made the new warden, and she tries to have inmate programs and rehabilitation and to help everybody, but she's not allowed because she works at a private prison and they shut down everything that costs more than a nickel to fucking run. Large portions of this season take place inside the ICE detention center where Flocka and Hot Girl are being held. Some of our main characters are sent there to run the kitchen. Gloria, Nikki, Red, other Hot Girl, and one of the Nazi girls whose name I don't remember. Of course, the focus of the show is Piper. She's having a really hard time being free from prison because she's on probation and can't do drugs, except she does, and can't drink, except she does, and can't hold down a job, so her dad just hires her to some vanity position. Alex tells her she can go have casual sex. You don't need to wait for me for 3 years because, and I quote, I know you'll come back to my golden pussy. Despite how ridiculously easy it is for a slightly psychopathic hot blonde to find sex in a major city, and people just throwing dick and vagina at her non-stop, she's not able to go through with it, and instead enters a friendship with a hot, super rich, red-headed lesbian chick. Her sister-in-law tried to set her up. It was supposed to be a camping trip, but it ended up being a weird survival course where the sister-in-law killed a sheep by accident and they bond over burying the sheep's fetus. It's really weird, even weirder than I'm making it sound. But anyways, they become best friends, and Alex becomes jealous of their friendship, even though she's the one that told her to go out and meet people in the first place. Well, it's better than the long scene where Piper's a chronic masturbator, keeping her brother awake with her screaming. That's also weirder than I made it sound. Enough about Piper, though. On to the best part of the show, the side characters and everyone's individual little things going on. At the end of 2 seasons ago, Cindy saw a guard being shot by the SWAT team, but in order to save herself, didn't tell the truth, and Tasty got the rap for everything. Tasty, meanwhile, this entire season has been contemplating suicide. In order to get pills to kill herself, she goes to Daya, who now runs the drug trade in the prison, and has to betray her friend the warden in order to get stuff for Daya so that Daya will get her drugs so she can kill herself, and we're not sure the whole time whether she's actually going to go through with it. She ends up finding some ways to keep herself occupied. She thinks she's just going to die in prison alone now that she has been given life, and is really depressed, but she's able to help the GD program, one of the things the warden was able to get done through volunteers. At the detention center, Nikki has fallen in love with one of the detainees who volunteered in the kitchen. She's always one of the best characters on this show, and that's why Natasha Lyonne got her own series. Russian Doll, watch it. It's really weird, but pretty good. Gloria has gotten herself a reputation for helping the detainees, getting cell phones to call their friends and family, let them know where they are, try to hire people lawyers, and is just a fucking saint in putting herself on the line despite the fact by the time of show's end she only has 9 days left in prison. So I said cell phones. How are all these cell phones getting in? Well, that's one of the guards shoving them up his ass. But the chargers for the phones are getting in because remember how I said one of the guards wasn't terrible? Well, guess what? She becomes a massive lesbian rage queen and blackmails Alex into helping her get Chargers into the prison and tries to bang Alex. And Alex is like, no, I don't need other women. I'm just happy with Piper. Except she's not, and Piper's dad was right, and Alex is just as big of a bitch as Piper is. Yay! They're so happy together, though. Jesus Christ. Uh, Doggett, Pennsatucky. She's trying to take the GED. Her character ends up being made to look like a fucking moron in this show, which is probably why the actress has gone fucking off the rails and people are worried for her mental health. As I said, Nikki's the best person on the show, and her life goes to shit this season. She loses her love, her two best friends, basically her family on this show, Red and Lorna, go fucking insane and are pretty much just curled up in a fetal position by the end of this show. But you know who gets to be happy? You know who gets to be happy at the end of this show? Lorna and Red are crying. Nikki has no friends anymore. Half the people in this show are dead or deported to other prison, deported to God knows where because their characters just fade out and literally disappear from the show. People are transferred to Missouri, to Ohio to join the cast from season 1. But you know who gets to be happy? You know who gets to be happy at the end of the show? I'll give you a fucking clue. Overall. So, with just this season in mind to start, as I said, we get rid of a lot of the extra characters going into this season and get to really focus on the people we like and Piper. We get more background on Red and Lorna. Weirdly, in the first episode, we get a voiceover from Alex and Piper that they thankfully got rid of fucking immediately. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. We get narration. Like, the first 10 seconds of the show, like show had. Now we're doing it again after 7 seasons. They bring it back, and that made no sense. But that only lasts for about half an episode until we get back into the storytelling we're used to. And individual episodes will show flashbacks to characters that are important in the episode. I think that started like 3 seasons ago. Because it's me and I always pick on little things like this in movies and shows. Where the hell was all these people's money coming from? We get prices. We're told that a phone is like $500. And all these people say they're poor and have no money, but yet all of them have phones. And chargers cost just as much, and yet they all keep their phones charged. We see every fucking day Blonde Guard is bringing in a shitload of chargers. The drugs, we find out they're selling like $1,500 a day in fucking heroin, plus all the other drugs. And where are they getting this money? Where? I don't get it. But whatever. Fine. They need the phones to keep multiple plot lines alive in order to keep Alex and Piper in contact, in order for Gloria to help out all the detainees. We need the phones. The drugs need to be in there for Daya and Alita's storylines to keep going. So I get why it's needed, but how it's sustainable, how it could possibly happen, makes no sense. As for a show overall, obviously it's a little slanted in favor of the inmates and criminals. All the cops are monsters. All the ice people are even fucking worse. There's very few redeeming characters in this show that aren't inmates. A couple of them turn around. Figueroa started off terrible, but she ends up being a good person by the end. Most of the time, the inmates, even the terrible ones, are shown to be good people, despite the fact that they murder, get people hooked on drugs, rape people, blackmail everyone. They're still the good guys. Even fucking baby killer Beth turns out to be a good guy at the end of the show. Not kidding, there's a character named Baby Killer Beth, and you don't find out her name until the last episode of the show. But she ends up having a redeeming story arc. Because, sure. Not sure I actually liked the show, but the little character pieces and the storylines in between I did enjoy. I hated Piper, as you may have noticed, and she's by far the worst thought out character in the show, but it's her show, so without her, we don't get these other enjoyable characters. If you have a free, I don't know, 120 hours time on your hands, go ahead and check it out. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall try to do better next time. I don't have any of this downloaded, so no bonus clips this time.